Good morning and welcome back to your Wednesday edition of the Now Morning Show. I'm Anchor Will, and fun fact, one of my favorite fruits is featured today. We are encouraging healthy lifestyles by packing wholesome lunch kits, and to do that I am joined by Cherice Bronte-Tinkew, a member of TANDI, and that is the Trinidad and Tobago Association of Nutritionists and Dietitians. Good morning, Cherice, and welcome.
Hi, good morning, and thank you for having me today.
Anytime you're bringing Silkfig, you could come through the dance guild. We appreciate you.
Yes.
Jumping straight into it, because we are in September, back to school time. I mean, by now we parents should have it figured out. But if we need a little bit of a tip, why do we need to pay attention to what we're putting in the lunch boxes these days?
Well, I mean, obviously, great minds are created from what we eat, and we want to encourage parents and guardians to teach and be the examples for children out there in terms of developing healthy habits.
Right.
So, I mean, healthy, balanced meals are a must. I believe so. Good nutrition starts from the young.
Now, as much as we talk about good nutrition, people often think diet, losing weight, diet, restrictions, diet, negative. And in this case, how do we change that connotation? How do we get kids on board with creating a healthy diet and seeing it as a positive thing?
So, I mean, obviously children are growing. So this is a stage where they're developing. So I'm going to concentrate on the primary school age children for my recommendations.
Right.
So let's start off with the Caribbean 6 food groups.
All right.
And I mean, you could find this chart, you know, just typing it into the search engine. I mean, we have it up on screen right now.
Right.
So we have 3 categories that are actually divided into. So you have the staples and the fats and oils. We consider these the go foods, and they provide a source of energy.
Right.
You also have the grow foods. So this is GROW. They provide a source of protein. So they are the legumes, and we also have the food from animals.
Right.
And then lastly, we have the glow foods, GLOW, and they provide a source of vitamins and minerals, and we have them as the vegetables and the fruits.
Right, the good stuff. And clearly I didn't get much of that protein to get me growing. But in terms of picky eaters and all of those sorts of things, how do we approach them?
So you have to start off with the 6 food groups, of course. So just by categorizing it into the 3 topics that we talked about, the go, glow, and grow,
Right.
we have to start with the go foods. So basically taking a staple, and you have a fat and oil. So this example can be a potato. So I know everybody loves fries. So we can still bake the potato at home. We could cut it up in wedges. We could add a source of oil to it. You know, when we're baking it, we could add some herbs and spices. Then we want to add a grow food. So we add, like, let's say tuna. Tuna comes from the food from animals.
Right.
And then lastly, you can add some vegetables. You can shred the vegetables on top. You know, you could mix it into the tuna, and there you go. You have a balanced meal. So, I mean, it's very simple.
You make it sound so easy, and I'm here like,
I'm here to help. I'm here to help.
Well, you're also here with some delicious options for us. So let's get into what is actually on display this morning, because I imagine this would be things that we can all find easily and easily adhere to these 3 categories, yes?
Yes.
So what are we looking at?
So we have to be resourceful. In this current economy, we have to be budget friendly.
Amen.
So I do have some examples on the table here. I brought along my lunch kit. So as you can see, I have in the wraps, we have the chana pie. So this is a baked chana pie. So you don't have to do a fry pie. You can bake it, you can flavor your chana and stuff it. And then the same dough I used in the pizza. So you have some frozen vegetables there, and you top it with some cheese.
Yeah,
and
easy
again, different food groups. Together, they are balanced.
Right.
And then I encourage parents to pack a fruit. You know, encourage your child to have a fruit a day. So, I mean, have an orange in season. You know, we have the citrus fruits coming into season for harvest.
Right.
So, you know, look at the local fruits. You have CKA figs, yeah? I mean, you know, we do import some of these fruits, but we have it here in our backyard.
Yeah. We can definitely get on board. Now, if you want to get fancy, because this little Tupperware with next to me is a little bit more international. I'm seeing some chocolate chips and I'm seeing some grated coconut.
So I know that we have short time span, you know, short moments in the morning to prepare.
Right.
So, I mean, you can buy in bulk to save. You could always look for the dry fruits as well if you're not getting your fresh fruit. So you can make a granola, you know, you can also add some chocolate chips. You know, children, they still can have a little bit of sugar, but you have to stay within the limit.
Right.
Yeah.
Let's talk about portions for a quick bit, because if I'm talking about a child in primary school, I want them to help me create the breakfast or the lunch. They're helping me pack. How can I easily remember portion sizes?
So portion size, I mean, you simply want to limit fat, salt, and sugar.
Okay.
So let's talk about sugar. So there is a limit for sugar. So you'd want to stay within 6 teaspoons or less for children. Fruits, they do have natural sugars. So you don't really have to, like, you know, portion size these. You know, encourage them to have it every day.
Okay.
And then, I mean, some of these sweetened beverages too, we have to cut back on it, encourage more water.
Right.
Even whole milk, low-fat milk, you know, different options you have there. I mean, a half a cup is usually like a serving. So you can add that to their tea. Okay. You could add it to, if they like punch or smoothie in the morning, they can do that.
Right.
You know, and you could add different meals at the lunchtime. So, I mean, when we talk about small portions, it might be, you know, like a cup of, like, let's say the rice, and we put it with some kind of like grow food, like your peas and beans. Right. And that's very economical. You know, you can use just as how I used it there.
I love it. I like that Cherice gave us both the international version and the local version. A smoothie or a punch, same thing.
Yes.
And so we're finding ways that we can make sure that we're pulling things out of our pantry. We're not necessarily doing things out of our reach. As far as the tips goes though, and I ask this because I was a picky eater, anything in particular that you found working specifically for children in the primary school age to get them on board with those 3 groups?
So you have to persevere. I mean, you have to expose foods to children several times for them to, you know, get a liking, and try a variety of ways. So you can shred, you could cut, you could dice different fruits and vegetables to get them to like it more. Use the colors as well, you know, and also teach them why it's important that they must have these things, because they're protecting their bodies, you know, encouraging healthy skin, hair, nails, you know, eyes. We have to focus in school.
Right.
So, I mean, all of these vitamins, minerals, you know, even other foods with the protein, all of this helps the children to succeed.
Right. Now, if we want to get ahead on that game, more information is necessary. And I understand there will be a webinar or an online option for us to check in. How do we connect and what's it all about?
Yes, so the Trinidad and Tobago Association of Nutritionists and Dietitians are hosting a webinar on the 9th of October. It's going to be at 6 p.m. We do have flyers on our social media pages, so you can check our Facebook page, our Instagram page, type in TTANDI. The cost is $100. You get to interact with a registered dietitian as well as a licensed pediatrician.
Nice stuff.
So you get more tips
on how to handle those fussy eaters, those little children who just need that support to make sure that they grow, glow, and go. I got it. I'm ready to do it. And we say thank you very much to Cherice Bronte-Tinkew, the member of Tandy, joining us this morning to give us some tips on how we can pack more wholesome and nutritional lunch kits for those kiddies as they get ready to head out to school. You may be on your way to school or work right now, but stick around. We have more that you don't want to miss here on the Now Morning Show, and we'll be back after these messages.